Hey Bayek, it's me Ian. And in today's video, I'm continuing my look at classic Doctor Who, the golden years. So that is the third and fourth Doctors, Jon Pertwee and Tom Baker. And this one is The Mind of Evil from 1971. And it's 5 episodes in this story. Fantastic. This is from season 8. Brilliant. Jon Pertwee. And it was transmitted between the 30th of January and the 6th of March 1971. And this is the second one in the season 8 run. It is, of course, Terror of the Autons, which introduced Jo, which I did review a while ago, and it's in my playlist. So if you want to check that out, it's there. The last one I did in this series was, in fact, Inferno, which was the last one of season 7. But here we are, and in the second story from season 8, The Mind of Evil. And the next one after this is a real cracker too. It is The Claws of Axos, 1971. So that'll be getting reviewed as well. Just keep watching. This is the best classic Doctor Who. You really cannot beat classic Doctor Who. It is the best. Yes. So let me talk about the details of this story. It's written by Don Houghton, who, of course, wrote Inferno. Wow. Yes, he did absolutely brilliant. But, of course, I'd just like to add that he's got a Hammer film connection. He wrote Dracula AD 1972. He wrote The Satanic Rites of Dracula 1973. He wrote The Legend of 7 Golden Vampires, 1974. You remember the Peter Cushing, the Kung Fu? Brilliant. Absolutely wonderful. Love all those films. You can't go wrong with Hammer. But yeah, that is great that he is involved with Doctor Who. Great. And then it's directed by Timothy Combe, who had previously directed Doctor Who and the Solarians, which is I think the second story of season 7, after Spearhead from Space. And what a story that was. Brilliant story. Sadly, it was after this, he only did these two Doctor Who stories, which is a bit sad, really. Anyhow, I'll go into that a little bit. Now, the script editors are Terrance Dicks and, of course, producer Barry Letts, and they're doing such a great job with all this, aren't they? They're fantastic job what they've done. Absolutely amazing. The music, of course, is by Dudley Simpson. Well, there you are. It's just fantastic. But this story is noted for many things, and a lot of people have commented on the quality of the direction, and that is so true. And the location of the prison in the story is, of course, Dover Castle, and it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. And then they managed to build the prison interiors in the studio. It's quite a lot of money for Doctor Who spent on this. The missile was actually a Bloodhound missile, which was on loan from the RAF. Yes, and that really adds to the authenticity. Also, the hangar used was a former RAF hangar at RAF Swingate. Yes. But suppose the story of this is the fact that it went massively over budget. And I felt, in a way, when you watch the documentaries about this, you felt so sorry for the director. He's under a lot of pressure, and to get the shots he wants. And then he's brilliant. He's got action scenes in it and everything, but because he went over budget and he really was keen to do more Doctor Who, he never did any more Doctor Who. They never asked him again, which is, I think, such a shame, and a lot of people feel that. And I think he, in the interview, he's not, I think it hurt a lot because he knew he'd done such a good job as well. Anyhow, let's get into the cast. John Pertwee, of course, is the third Doctor. Absolutely brilliant. And Katie Manning as Jo Grant. Don't forget, this is a second story. And there's already such a warmth in the relationship between her and the Doctor. How they really care for each other already. I mean, it's amazing. I absolutely love that. New series, take note. You get proper things here. It is absolutely. It feels really not forced, natural, a natural friendship. Yeah, already. It's great, and that also is that they did get on very well as well off screen, and they were friends. Yeah. Then we've got Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier, and then we've got Richard Franklin as Captain Yates, and John Levine, of course, as Sergeant Benton. And here it is, we've got Roger Delgado once again playing the Master, and this is his second outing as the Master. Wow, I always think he's the best Master there's ever been. He is perfect. He is brilliant. He is fantastic, and it's such a loss when he died. But this is really well established. He's fantastic in the role. Everything about him. There's even a certain coolness about him as a villain there in the back of the car, smoking his cigar. He just is so superb in this role. I can't talk enough about him. But I better go on. Then we've got Fernanda Marlowe as Corporal Bell, and she's also in the brilliant Claws of Axos, which is next from 1971. So that's the next story. She's in that. Then we've got Patrick Godfrey playing Major Cosworth. He's a typical character. I love these characters that we have. Now, he was in a film that I do mention a lot. Heat and Dust, Julia Christie film, which is fantastic. He was also in Clockwise, which is a film I love, John Cleese comedy, absolutely. And his later roles, he's played on and off. He did a film called Breathe, which is really interesting, 2017. And in terms of Doctor Who history, he was in The Savages from 1966, first Doctor William Hartnell story, 4 episodes, which there are no episodes now. It's all are missing, all the 4 episodes. The chances possibly very much are there. We are never going to see those episodes again. Yes, that is sad, but there we are. So that's The Savages, 1966. Then we've got Pick Sen Lim playing Chin Lee. She actually became quite a familiar face playing Chinese characters. Now, here's a good bit of casting. She is the wife of the writer. Yes, Don Houghton obviously was well. He did well. He got her in, and also she was pregnant as well at the time. She's really good. I can see why they used her in a lot of other programs and episodes, and I think as well because she was the Chinese actresses were quite rare to see. But I don't want to go down some of that other road we could say. But they were really pleased to get her, and I can see why. She adds a lot to it. It's fantastic. Then we've got the familiar face of Michael Sheard, who plays Dr. Ronald Summers, of course. What a servant to Doctor Who. He was in The Ark, 1966, William Hartnell. Pyramids of Mars, Tom Baker story, 1975. Classic, absolute classic. The Invisible Enemy, 1977. Castrovalva, 1982, with the Fifth Doctor. And of course, he was in Remembrance of the Daleks, 1985. Oh, yes. But of course, he's well known in terms of Grange Hill as Mr. Bronson from 1985 to 1989. Grange Hill, yeah. But I like he pops up in films. He was in a film I've reviewed very recently, Holiday on the Buses. He was in that, yeah, 1973. But of course, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980. He's in that. So, very good. Excellent. Then there's another face I'd just like to mention, which is Neil McCarthy, who pops up. He's a very familiar face. He was in Doctor Who, The Power of Kroll, 1978 to 1979. But he was in so many TV episodes and a couple of films. He was in Zulu, a film I talk about and love, and another film I love, Where Eagles Dare, 1967. He was in there, and I remember him very well in both those roles. Outstanding, absolutely. So what is the story about? Well, it starts with the Doctor and Joe visiting Stanmore Prison, where a new method of treating prisoners. Have you noticed in that era they were all interested about brainwashing, treating? You think of Clockwork Orange even, about prisoners and all that kind of thing. That this machine removes negative impulses from the brain and it supposedly cures them. The Doctor is a bit worried, you can see. I'm rather sceptical about all this and that things are not right. So we've got that going on. Then we've got the Brigadier who's organising security with UNIT for this peace conference. It's very important, this peace conference. And of course, that is threatened by a murder and very other things going on at the time. And particularly the Chinese may well pull out, and that would be catastrophic. And also, he's got to get rid of this missile has to be disposed of, which also could be a threat. But of course, it emerges that all this is being manipulated by the Master, who basically, his evil plan is to plunge the world into World War III like he does. And, well, as I mentioned it earlier, Roger Delgado as the Master, he is fantastic. And his scenes with the Doctor. It's as I say, the locations are great. And the action sequences, they're brilliant. It's all put together. Fantastic. This story is so well done. The 5 episodes just sail by. The modern Doctor Who could take a lesson from a lot of this. Really could. It is fantastic. What a story. Now, there's a bit more behind this because all they had at one time, well, it still is really, is the black and white episodes because, various reasons with what happened at the BBC. But over the years, they managed to colorize them. The VHS one had some colorization, 1998 release. Then the DVD release in 2011 also had some, but the technology has really developed, and we've got the 2013, which took it even further. And then by 2021, we've got a really good restoration of season 8 in the Doctor Who collection. So there we are. Let me just show you before I go. This is the DVD. It is fantastic. The restoration still looks pretty good. It's not as good as on the other one. I'll show you in a minute. But it's very good. The second disc is excellent with the documentary on here. It's got 2 discs. And it's got, as usual, these are wonderful. These giving you all this information, the leaflet. And there's the 2 discs on there. So extras, always good. Excellent. And here it is. I just thought I'd show you. Season 8. Absolutely superb. Second story. All restorations, the documentaries and added features. Well, absolutely brilliant on this story. I can't. These are just essential classic Doctor Who's if you can get hold of them in your collection, definitely. But the DVD is very good as well. It is. So there we are. I finished, and I hope you enjoy Doctor Who like I do. The classic Doctor Who, brilliant Doctor Who. You can't beat classic, really, seriously. And anyhow, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I put out these videos, and you can look at playlists and see what you think. Also, if you like this particular video, please give it a like. It helps it get into YouTube and into algorithms and all that. And if you've got any comments, please put your comments down. I love to read your comments. And it all costs note, so you can't say fairer than that. Buy it, you can't. Buy it, you can't. And that's it, really. Yes. So all I've got to say is I'll see thee again.